you have a minimum. Next thing we want to go ahead and focus now is our axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry, or a line of symmetry, it's basically a line that crosses through the vertex or the x value of the vertex. So when you're graphing your parabola, the axis of symmetry is actually the line that's going to cut your vertex in half, or not the vertex but the parabola, and it's actually going to go straight down through your vertex. So let's go ahead and sketch that or draw it here. Once again, axis of symmetry is the line that goes directly down through the vertex. So that is my axis of symmetry. I'm going to actually do it more down. So that's our axis of symmetry there. And if I do want to go ahead and find the value of the axis of symmetry, for example, it's always going to be the x value of the vertex. So my x here for the vertex is -1. So axis of symmetry there is -1. So this here represents the axis of symmetry. And symmetry. Right? And let's go ahead and label the rest. For example, on the green one, axis of symmetry lies directly down through the vertex. So we're going to go ahead and go down through the vertex. Once again in orange, that is the axis of symmetry. And if I want to find the value of this one, axis of symmetry is the x-coordinate, or the x value of the vertex, which in this case is a positive 3.5. So that's the axis of symmetry there. And then over here, once again, axis of symmetry is the line that goes directly through the vertex, cuts our parabola in half. If I want to find the axis of symmetry there, it's the x of the vertex, or the x that it actually crosses to, which is -6. So that is our axis of symmetry. And let's write it up here. All right, and I do want to go ahead and highlight those. We'll highlight them in purple. So this is purple, purple, and purple again. All right. So we have the vertex, then we have the axis of symmetry. Now we want to go ahead and move on to the intercepts. We do have two different x-intercepts. We have an X-intercept and we have a Y-intercept. X-intercept in this case, guys, basically represents any point that crosses the x-axis. X-axis, guys, always runs horizontally. So x-axis runs horizontally. So any point in your parabola that crosses this line here, let's go ahead and do that in green. So any point that crosses this line here is considered an x-intercept. So if we take a look at that, starting off with this green parabola here, I actually do have 2 points. I have 1 point, let's do it this blue. Yeah, I have 1 point here. Not sure if you guys can see that. Maybe a yellow would work. Let's see. I have 1 point here. Perfect. And 1 point there. All right. So those two there represent our x-intercept. So let me just draw a line. We have x-intercept. And let me actually do that a different color because it writes. All right, looks nice there. I want that blue. All right, so that's x-intercept. And once again, if I do want to go ahead and identify the x-intercept, it would actually be the point 1, 0, and 6, 0. So those two are x-intercepts. And those are in green. So let me actually take this out. Alright, let me see if I can get it. Alright, there you go. And these are in green. Alright. Now, if we take a look, let me just do these again, I'm sorry, because you really can't tell with that green highlighter over it. Alright. Alright, so if we take a look at this purple one here, question for you guys is, does this purple parabola cross our x-axis? Does it cross it at any point here? And answer for that, guys, is no, it actually doesn't cross it. Purple doesn't actually have any x-intercept, so we're not going to worry about that one. If I take a look at this one here, on the other hand, I actually do have 2 x-intercepts. The parabola does cross the x-axis twice. It crosses it at a point here and there. So these two, once again, represent our x-intercept. And I'm just going to abbreviate and write INT. Once again, I could label these here. So if I label this one, that's actually going to be the point -7, 0. And if I label that one, it's going to be -5, 0. All right. So, that was in green. Let's go ahead and highlight that once again. That was our x-intercept. All right, so we have our vertex, we have our axis of symmetry, we have our x-intercepts. The last one is the y-intercept. So x-intercept focused on the points that were on the x-axis. Y-intercept in this case now focuses on points that are on our y-axis. So once again, if I highlight this here, we want to go ahead and see if any of these graphs here meet or touch our y-axis. And in this case, they do. For example, on the green one, our green graph here, we actually do have a y-intercept somewhere around here. And then for the purple one, we actually do have another one right there. So let me actually erase that. And I'm going to go ahead and label both of these here as our y-intercept. And just abbreviate INT for those. All right. So it's just those two there. And also, guys, if I do want to go ahead and write my y-intercept here, this would be the point more specifically focused on this one here. It would be the point 0, 3. All right, so that's one thing for you guys to see. All right, so that is our labeling.